So guys, it is my pleasure again and again to show you this my priceless sort of information. You see what the people provided me with it. It's just temptation I cannot resist. Absolutely priceless sort of information. So guys, let's go through the document that I call introduction or short description. It will help us, or it will help everybody who come across our video to understand what the matter is about. It will also prevent new manipulations and fakes and lies from your side, because we know that our case was based on lies, fakes, manipulations, frauds, abuse of court process, etc., chaos and mess. So a few years ago, I ended up in a very strange situation. Each time I came from Moscow to London, I was arrested right on board of airplane in Heathrow Airport. I felt like I was persecuted by the British authorities. In fact, I was searched by the police wherever I stayed in London. So basically they arrested me and they released me. And I could not understand really what's going on. So basically, contrary to my expectation, and contrary to my understanding of what the basic elements of the criminal proceedings are, I wasn't provided in details what was going on. Police referred to Family Law Act 1996. They showed me reports signed, request for arrest, basically, signed by a number of people, mainly names mainly unknown to me. Then they requested police to arrest me because allegedly I was in breach of some restraining order that was issued by a family court in London. Allegedly, I was accused of domestic violence. I was absolutely shocked. There were so many questions I could not find the answer. For example, why family court? I do not have any family or relatives in the UK. Why domestic? Domestic, the legal term domestic implies some action that took place between members of the same family or people who are in intimate relationship. And I did not have anybody in UK with who I would have intimate relationship. And then violence. Okay, how could I exercise acts of domestic violence from Russia? Even legal term of domestic means that it implies at least some kind of contact, physical or on the phone or whatever. But these people cannot. Basically, these people were unknown to me, and I could not have to commit any act of violence, because we never were in contact. I never contacted them, and they did not contact me. Not even in social media. Never. So it's straight away, as you can see, the matter was unclear, kind of messy and chaotic. So we understand straight away that legal terms like domestic, family, violence, etc., were used in improper way, like kind of cover for something. Police, I raised all these questions to police, and police were not of help. I think they did not understand anything as well. What they had a copy of normalization order allegedly signed by a judge, and the order was worded in some particular way, and they had these reports, and they were obliged to act according to their duties, because on the order there is stamp that breach of this order in any of its parts is arrestable offense. Okay. I asked police, sorry, but if they alleged domestic violence, there must be some victims of domestic violence, and who are those victims? And these police were able to explain me. They indicated me that on the top of these reports there is signed victim report. So it means that people who requested my arrest, who reported breach, they are victims. And I must say that list of victims of my domestic violence was quite long. It's Shin Bates, Chris Bates, Jean Donning, Mary Abel, etc. Also members of their families, and even friends, just friends. Basically, any person could write report to the police alleging me to commit act of domestic violence, and explain that he or she is friend of some member of families of these people. So it's absolutely absurd. It's absolutely absurd and chaotic, but it was just reality. This is just the situation I faced. And what about decision of court? They refer to some court order, but it was issued as a result of some court hearing, where I was respondent, I was a party, but I was not aware of any proceeding where in UK where I was the party. Obviously, I wrote to court, and they refused to confirm me that they have ever put any prohibitions on me, on myself, on me. So, what I had in front of me is something so messy, so chaotic, so unclear. So you even do not know from what side to approach the matter. And I had suspicion that the chaos was created intentionally. So the more messy the matter is, the more difficult to get to the heart of the case. So basically, I realized that I am targeted by some massive, complicated attack, and I also realized that the aim of this attack, this malicious plan, was to keep me away from London, not to make in the way that I feel not comfortable to go to London. But why would these people, mainly unknown to me, they all unknown to me, apart of 1-2 people, but why would they participate in such illegal action? Why were they interested to keep me away from UK, to scare me? It's clearly, if they use improper legal terminology, and that, so it was clear the intention is to scare me and to make me not comfortable to go back to UK. But why? Why? It was obviously I could not give up that case, and as I said, I started my investigation. First of all, I tried to put things in systematic and logical way. It was very hard because I realized that I was forced to undertake this activity in English justice. It was clear that these so-called victims could not organize to think proper and to organize this campaign of intimidation and to make it so messy. It was absolutely clear, and there must be some organizer, some who has some skills and ability, and who could manipulate terminology and proceedings and everything. I also received couple letters from person who introduced himself as a legal representative, a solicitor of one individual I knew very well, and his letters, 1 or 2 letters, maybe one, was I think one letter was unclear, but threatening, obviously. Threatening. He also attached bill that I expected to pay. It was first bill was about £11,000. Allegedly, as I could understand, £11,000. It was the sum of money paid by my victims for their protection from me, and he wanted to get this money from me as well. But I am kind of expect before someone wants me to pay money, I expect to have decision of court or at least some explanation. And Morton would not provide me any explanation. In any case, he introduced himself like legal representative. That was like instructed to protect them of my domestic violence. So I wrote back to him. I wrote one letter. He did not acknowledge even a receipt of my mail. Second letter. So I wrote him 4 letters. In one occasion he acknowledged receipt of my mail. Then I started looking for other names, and I found Shiva Lomasney. Shiva Lomasney was the head of family department. And I identified her name in a list of people who provided my victims with advice at price of £370 an hour. And I wrote to her I asked very politely what's going on and why Mr. Morton refused to acknowledge receipt of my email. According to me, to be act between me and his client was duty assumed by him in front of court. She was Masna as well. I did not receive anything from her. So I understood it was part of plan to make me angry, to commit some stupid thing, to contact this person, to the client directly. Obviously, I realized it straight away, and I did not contact him directly. Then, at this point, I wrote complaint to head of litigation department, Mr. Roger James. From Mr. Roger James, I received 2 lines, but it was absolutely useless. At this point, I just got confirmation that the picture was absolutely clear to me, that behind all the story was plan, malicious, illegal, plan with malicious target, and the terminology was used, legal terminology was used just to cover up this crime. Okay. Then, as I said, I tried to put, I read legislation, law, everything. And based on legislation, law, and common sense, I started building the picture. I tried to get the clear picture of what's happening. So, first of all, I delved into the nature of restrictions as they report them to the police. Restrictions that were allegedly placed on me by the court. So at this point, I realized that these people, that the whole plan was targeted to scare me, to intimidate me as the victim or witness of crime. Because, but if not, how could they explain their attempts to convince police not to accept criminal reports against me, from me, against their clients? Target they wanted to achieve is intimidation of victim or witness of crime. Because how could I report crime only as victim or witness? That's it. There is no any other quality. Victim or witness. And after the crime is reported by witness or victim, the proceedings start, and there is a proceeding with which they wanted to achieve all was malicious. The law persecute for any action that aimed into intimidation, victim or witness of crime, or into miscarriage of justice, or into perverting course of public justice. These all crimes, and they are punishable by law. But these people, they found the way to commit actions that were aimed at the same target, malicious target, intimidation of victims and witness. But under the cover of legal terminology and law, they could reach the same target, but with impunity. They got immune of persecution. And this is why they use law and restraining orders. This is something unheard, unseen, absolutely new, and this is what I had to face. This campaign started more than 7 years ago, and as to my knowledge, some of these individuals still going around police forces reporting me for domestic violence or breach of some order. So at this point I decided to make the case public and to share with the public with my experience. But before I do this, as I said before, I think it's honest and correct to give my so-called victims a last chance to come up with the explanation what the matter is about. Because listen, the court, family court, okay, ex-principal registrar of the family division of the High Court of Justice, refused to confirm me that it actually placed on me all these restrictions. If you believe that the court really placed on me all these restrictions, I will be grateful if you able to provide me with this letter from court. If you say, if you manage to obtain the letter, for example, it's written, court, judge, confirm that the order FD14F00086 really exists, it's still valid, and here below the restrictions that have been placed on Elena Vasilyeva under the threat of imprisonment, 5 years of imprisonment. If you are able to do that, okay, I will ask sorry. I will publish 10 videos asking you sorry. But you will not be able to do that. You will not be able to provide me to obtain this letter, because you know that the order did not exist